Bitcoin is coming closer and closer to a huge breakout on the daily time frame. And today we have a huge announcement of Trump about his tariffs, and it will happen later today. We also have a lot of interesting news around GameStop raising money for buying Bitcoin. We also have interesting news coming from the Bitcoin and the ETF inflows. And there are a lot of interesting patterns and formations showing for Bitcoin on the charts, which I will discuss with you in this video. Later in the video I will also have a look at the two altcoins, Cardano and Chainlink, so you want to watch this video all the way to the end to don't miss anything. Please slap up that like button because it will be highly appreciated by me. And now, with that being said, let's dive right into the charts. Yesterday we saw that Bitcoin climbed up a little bit from the $83,000 and we came above the $85,000, which was a little bit more bullish. And this bullish price action is very interesting to see because Bitcoin shifted from this huge bearish downtrend and we're now inside of this huge uptrend on the 1 hour time frame. We can see lower highs and lower lows were unfolding, so this bearish trend was confirmed. And now we're creating also higher highs and higher lows, and this could mean that Bitcoin is going to see a shift from a downtrend into an uptrend, and this is exactly what we want to see to form a bottom. So for now this is looking very bullish, and let's see if Bitcoin can continue the bullish momentum to the top side in this day and during the rest of the week. Because we want to see some bullish price action, of course, and we want to see Bitcoin above the $90,000 very soon. But however, today we also have a very big announcement of Trump, and it will be an event later today. So keep in mind that a lot of volatility is guaranteed for later today. And if we zoom out to the daily time frame, we can see this huge formation is unfolding for Bitcoin. We can see a lot of touch points here as resistance on the top side, and this lower side support region is also unfolding. So eventually the price of Bitcoin is getting squeezed into this apex, and the price of Bitcoin will also see a breakout maybe this week already, or maybe in the coming next week, because eventually the price has to pick a side. So we either are going to see a break to the top side or a break to the downside. And of course these are the two scenarios for Bitcoin, but the overall trend on the daily time frame is still up because we're still in a huge uptrend. So I think we will see a continuation of the trend, a confirmation of the breakout, then a retest of the resistance as support, and then a continuation to the top side. And then the breakout target will be around the $180,000, which is confluent with the previous all-time high. But of course a bearish scenario is also possible, that we're going to see a break below this support area, a retest of the support to test it as resistance, and then we have to aim for lower targets. And then we could see a little bit more lower prices for Bitcoin in the coming weeks and months. But however, I think the coming months will be very bullish, especially because Q1 also was a little bit more bearish. And after this huge run up from the bear market lows, we are now seeing just a little bit of a consolidation happening. So I think we will see a break to the top side and then bigger prices for Bitcoin. And if we're going to see a break, I'm going to wait for this retest, and then on this retest I'm going to take a long on Bitcoin. And looking at the Bitcoin ETF flows of yesterday, we saw a huge outflow yesterday. We saw $157.8 million of total outflow, so this was a little bit of a bearish day. We can see that BlackRock didn't buy or sell anything, but we can see that Fidelity and the ARK Invest Bitcoin ETF are selling like crazy. So let's see if they can turn things around, because we don't want to fall below this 36 billion of total cumulative inflow, and we don't of course want to see this decline happening further and further. So for now this huge total cumulative inflow is still in an uptrend, so let's see if this just was a dip and that we can create new all-time highs in the coming weeks and months. And if we then have a look at the Ethereum ETF flows, we can also see that yesterday was a bit of a bearish day, because we saw a $3.6 million of total outflow out of the Ethereum ETF. And yeah, we can see a lot of Ethereum ETFs don't buy or sell anything. So I think they will just wait for the announcement of Trump later today, and maybe then they will buy or sell anything if that is possible. So keep in mind that the Ethereum ETF flow is turning a little bit more bullish than bearish in the last week. So this could also have a very bullish effect on the price of Ethereum in the coming weeks. And zooming into the 4 hour time frame, we can see this huge horizontal level is still in play. And yesterday during my video we were around this level, and I said that Bitcoin needs to break this huge horizontal resistance in order to become a little bit more bullish, because in the past we can see a lot of touch points here as resistance and support. So this level has a lot of price interactions when it reached this level. So Bitcoin broke a little bit to the top side, and it looks like we are now retesting this resistance as support. So let's see if Bitcoin can see a continuation of the trend, and that of course will be very bullish, because we shifted from this huge uptrend into a downtrend of a little bit. So we could also create a lower high So Bitcoin is now creating a bit of a lower high. So this is also a little bit of a bearish move, because first we were in this higher high and higher low structure, and now we're shifting into this lower high and lower low structure. So this could have a bearish effect on the price of Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin holds this support and creates more of a bullish spike to the top side, we can also create a new higher high, and that could mean that Bitcoin is still in this uptrend and that we invalidate the bearish trend and still shift to an uptrend. So this is the bullish scenario that could happen in the coming day. But we could also see that Bitcoin is going to break below the support again, and that we have to aim for lower prices, and that Bitcoin is going to create a lower low and also a lower high, and that of course will mean that Bitcoin is still in a huge downtrend, and then we have to aim for lower prices. And having a look at another daily formation for Bitcoin, we can see this huge falling, broadening wedge for Bitcoin is unfolding. We can see multiple touch points here on the top side as resistance, and also on the lower side we can see multiple touch points here as support. And eventually, this price is getting squeezed into this channel, and currently we are back at this huge topside resistance. So let's see if Bitcoin can now see a break to the top side and maybe force a bullish break. And of course, if that happens, I'm going to wait for a retest of this resistance to test it as support. And at this bullish retest, I'm going to aim for a long position to long the market to the top side, and then the top side of the formation will be the breakout target, as I said. But of course, Bitcoin can also see a bearish scenario unfold, and that we have to aim for lower prices, and that we are going to see a rejection from this huge resistance area, and that we have to aim for lower prices, and that we possibly come down to this lower side support again. But if that happens, we will see prices for Bitcoin below the $70,000, and I don't think this is going to happen. Because we saw a little bit of a downtrend unfold, but now it looks like that Bitcoin is shifting from this downtrend into an uptrend on the daily time frame. So let's see what happens today when Trump is going to announce his tariffs. And talking about Trump, the tariffs announcement will be around the 4 p.m. Eastern time today. And I think a lot of volatility is coming into the market, so brace yourselves. And I don't advise to trade around this time, because we will see a lot of volatility. And we also have another very bullish news article coming in, and that is that GameStop already raised $1.48 billion to buy Bitcoin for its treasury reserve. And of course, this is very bullish, and we can see the net proceeds from the offering were $1.48 billion. So I think they will buy soon a lot of Bitcoin, and a lot of other companies will most likely follow, because the GameStop stock also rose in value after their announcement to buy Bitcoin. So I think a lot of companies will follow this idea and buy Bitcoin for the future. And let's then have a look at the altcoins. I want to look at the Cardano at first. These are my interesting levels to see, to look at, and these are the resistance and support levels on my daily chart. So these are the resistance level for Cardano to break to the top side, and of course on the lower side we also have this huge support area, and currently we are inside of this huge range. So the next make or break move for Cardano will be a break to the top side or a break to the downside. But currently we saw in the last weeks a lot of negativity and a lot of bearish price action. So I think we will see a lot of reversals coming into the market for Cardano, and especially of course when Bitcoin is also turning bullish again. So the first big resistance is around the 78 cents, and if Cardano is going to break to the top side, I'm going to wait for this retest, and I'm going to long the market to the next big resistance of around the $1. And this is of course also a very psychological level. So for now we don't want to fall below this huge support level on the lower side, and that will be around the 57 cents. And let's then have a look at another huge daily chart for Cardano. We can see a lot of interesting price interactions around this level. So in the past we can see a lot of price interactions here, and this is the next big resistance for Cardano to break, and of course this is around the 82 cents. So if Cardano comes back to this level, I think we will see a price interaction around this level, just like we saw here in the past, and then we could either see a rejection from this level, or we're going to see a gain from this level. So this will be the next make or break level for Cardano. And zooming out to the weekly time frame, we can also see a lot of interesting resistance areas are unfolding. And for instance, this is a very interesting area for the weekly time frame for Cardano to look at, because we can see a lot of price interactions around this level. And in the past, this level acted as resistance and support. So if Cardano is now falling below this level, we could also potentially see a bearish retest again, and that we have to aim for lower prices. But of course, we want to be remain a little bit more bullish. So I want to see that Cardano is going to invalidate this bearish move, that we're going to break above it, confirm the breakout, and then a retest of this resistance as support. From here you can enter the market for Cardano in a long or maybe spot buy order, and then we can aim for higher targets, and then maybe the real bull market can start for Cardano. And let me know in the comments, do you still hold Cardano in your portfolio, and are you still bullish on Cardano for the future? And the next altcoin I want to have a look at is Chainlink. We can see the Chainlink on the daily time frame is in this huge falling channel, and we can see a lot of resistance and support on the lower side. We can see support, of course, and on the higher side we can see multiple times resistance. So for now we are bouncing from this lower side support, which is a little bit more bullish. And let's see if Chainlink can also visit this top side resistance again, and that of course will bring the Chainlink again above the $19. So if Chainlink is going to see this move, I want to see a bullish break to the top side, and then we can aim for higher targets. And then the top side of the formation will be confluent with the breakout target, and that will bring Chainlink all the way back to the $30, around $30. So for now we bounce from this lower side support, so this is looking a little bit more bullish than bearish. And if we then have a look at the 4-hour chart for Chainlink, we can also see that Chainlink fell below important support and resistance. So this huge horizontal level is an important level to look at for Chainlink. So we saw this huge uptrend for Chainlink in the past weeks, but then we saw a bearish trend also because Bitcoin was falling. Then we fell below this huge horizontal level, we fell below support, and now it looks like we are creating a downtrend again, because first we were in this huge uptrend, and now we're shifting into a downtrend because we are seeing lower highs and also lower lows. So this is a little bit more bearish eventually on the 4-hour time frame. But on the daily time frame we can see more bullish price action. So also let me know in the comments, do you still hold Chainlink in your portfolio, and what is your price prediction for Chainlink in 2025? So again, please like the video if you haven't already, because it will be highly appreciated by me. You can also follow me on Twitter and also on my free Telegram group. You can find the link in the descriptions under this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.